Hey Lucas, how's it going? Okay, we will get started in just another minute. Okay, let us go ahead and get started. And I actually don't have a set agenda for this meeting today. I've been sick all week and having some traveling issues. But the first thing I want to do is kind of open it up to the floor and just ask if anyone has any questions as far as acquiring customers, marketing your own Stammer SaaS, any questions at all. Let me admit someone else who just joined. Let me look at the chat here. Yeah, so it looks like no one has any questions. Drew, do you have ideas for topics today? We could talk about some of the interesting kind of customer calls we've had recently. The one guy that was having success just reselling the chatbots with amazing customer service behind it. What are your thoughts, Drew?
Yeah, I actually just got off a customer call with a guy who sold two agents in the last week for 500 bucks a piece a month. He's on full SaaS mode, so in his first, 30 to 45 days, he's got about a 2x ROI. So what he did, which is maybe a little bit different than what other people are doing, he was actually in his local town just walking into businesses and pitching
Yeah.
it to them. So he found success walking into a local kind of carpentry slash flooring shop. He went to their website, he talked to the business owner and was telling the business owner that he was having difficulty sorting through the different types of flooring, different pricing, different options if he were to be a customer and redo his house or his business. And so he trained a bot on their website to be able to sort through all of the information that's available much, much easier and did a live demo right with the business owner. And so he showed the one path of him going on the website, trying to find the piece of flooring, the quantity, pricing that he was looking for, versus the same path going through the AI agent that he had trained on the same information. And it was a massive difference in the amount of time that somebody could get from walking in the door or landing on a website to being able to find the pricing and checkout, from the typical experience to kind of this new updated experience, which leads to more conversions, leads to more revenue for the business owner. So that's how he pitched it, was higher lead conversion, which leads to more business growth. And it's actually not doing anything more than the business owner was already doing because it's essentially just converting the same traffic at a higher rate on autopilot. So it's not costing the business owner any time or money to take advantage of that traffic that's already there. It's just taking advantage of it.
Yeah, that is really, really interesting, especially the fact that he is just walking into businesses, which is the advantage, right, of targeting SMBs. You can just literally walk into them as you would being a customer of them and then get direct interaction with the SMB.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like
What?
Steve. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Oh, no, no, I was just gonna ask, do you know what region is he in? What region of the world is he in, the US or?
He is in Europe. He's in Norway.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. Okay. Okay, cool. And yeah, what were you saying, Drew?
It looks like Steve has some questions with acquisition channels, approaches to service, etc. This is a tough one, so I'm going to kind of start at the beginning of the process, which is just where do we find customers to begin with. And
Yeah.
the way that I typically approach this is first we would probably lean on any network connections that we do have, and this is, kind of your warmer network. I know that some people don't necessarily want to cross those paths. So if that's not an option or you don't like that acquisition channel, that's understandable. Two agencies that have had success, one of them does cold calling and they are specific to the real estate industry. So they cold call real estate investors and are pitching this idea of losing, the marketing agencies for real estate investors are running Google ads, Facebook ads, and doing SEO to be able to acquire leads 24/7. We
Mhm.
know as people that we're not always available 24/7. And for real estate investors, because their business is so relationship based, they spend a lot of time in people's houses, talking to them about the condition of their property, talking to them about, you know, the numbers, if they have a mortgage left, how much cash is left over, where they have to move, all of those things. And so all of that time being spent, whether it is after hours or whether it's during business hours, but they're not available, any potential lead that comes through, whether it's a Facebook ad lead or a website form submission or even a phone call, all of those are potentially lost leads. So they are pitching this idea that the AI can capture more of the incoming form submissions on the digital side. They're using something else for the voice side, which they'll soon migrate to us too. But they're cold calling with that solution, and they're leveraging the social proof that they have to be able to say, hey, a competitor of yours is doing this and finding success. I know exactly what you're missing out on because of a competitor potentially in the same market or doing the same thing. And so I know for a fact that I can deliver these results as well. So cold calling has been working really well for them.
Yeah,
Another acquisition channel that is a little bit more scalable. It does cost a little bit in terms of money, but it is more scalable in terms of time, is cold email. We have an agency out of Australia who is targeting clients in Australia and the US and has been finding success with cold email campaigns. So the larger question, I think, is whether we have more time to be able to spend to pick up the phone and dial, to walk into businesses, to build cold email campaigns, or if we're willing to spend a little bit more money and be able to drive traffic with Google ads, Facebook ads, potentially hiring VAs to be able to cold call or cold email on your behalf. Those are some of the more popular strategies that we see.
right. And customer acquisition overall is a massive topic, but it really also depends on your niche combined with your own skill set.
Mhm.
What I mean by that is, it depends on what niche you're targeting. Like if you're targeting lawyers, the approach you use for them is going to be much different than the approach you use if you're targeting some other niche. So really, I would kind of turn the question back to Steve. What is your niche? And then what is your exact skill set so far? Are you good at making videos? If so, maybe if your niche is on social media, video social media platforms, you could start making content like Ross was suggesting in uh, the last one of these accelerator calls. But it is a weird kind of an example. We talked to a customer yesterday who's an older gentleman, and his customer acquisition method is going to be completely different from yours because he is out there he wants to create chatbots for a very, very niche industry, horse racing. And so he knows all these people. He has a background actually in this industry. He was apparently a jockey at one time, and he knows all these people, already works with them. So he's just going to go and call them up actually. So that's the real things here is what are you good at and what is your niche? And you just have to find a customer acquisition method that works for you. And that's really, I think, the most we can say without having any more details. But if you want to bring anything up, give us more information about your niche. We can certainly give you ideas and stuff like that.
All excellent. Thank you. Very welcome, and your points are well made.
Yeah, yeah, great, great. Any other direct question? What is a standard approach to service? Is that just like what are people offering as a part of their packages and how they're servicing their clients?
Yeah, essentially, as we know, there's kind of an onboarding scenario. There's also a ongoing support where, we can't figure out how to tie this, system to that system. You guys have probably
Hmm.
faced similar issues. I'm just curious if anybody's standardized an approach or have any recommendations.
Yeah, Drew, do you want to talk about that? If not, I can talk about the customers we've talked with.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pull from some of the same pool.
Yeah.
What we see a lot of is currently agencies doing most everything for their clients. So usually, you have the sales call, you make the sale. The typical process is setting up some sort of onboarding call to be able to get access to information, whatever you might need. And that widely varies based on what you're selling. If it's customer support, you have to make sure you have all of the information that needs to be fed into the agent. If you're selling lead gen and scheduling, you want to make sure you connect with any marketing or automation systems they work with, as well as any calendar systems they might work with. So onboarding call in some way, it could be a call, it could be a form, is typically what we see from that. And then from there, similar to what we do, and Tim, you'll probably say the same thing. There are a couple of ways to approach support. Like with us, right? We have these calls where we're talking to people. I know that's not necessarily the most scalable as you get started. You could have a ticketing system and integrate something like a fresh desk into your system as a custom menu link. You always do have options to create communities with your clients or have them reach out personally to email as well. So a couple of different options there depending on what you're comfortable offering. And then I would not offer those all. I would pick two or maybe three options maximum and then tier them based on the offer that you're selling.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I will comment on that I've seen lately is a lot of newer agencies who seem to want to go after the high ticket clients, right? And these are larger organizations with more complex needs. And just keep in mind that if you're not set up to deliver what they need, like which is complex solutions, it may not be the best kind of target customer for you. As an example, a larger organization like a car dealership or something, they're going to have a lot of systems that they will need integrated with in order to get this solution sold. Now, that being said, I think there is also a massive opportunity to target organizations like that because you can sell them the concept of these integrations. And we've had people sell integrations along with a chatbot that integrates into their ordering system for $16,000 is one guy we had like a year ago that did that, and we have other opportunities there. If you do need technical help, we do have a dev shop we work with that is very good. So if you find that a customer does need an integration built and you don't know how to do that, or you don't have access to resources that know how to do that, we do have that network, so you can reach out to us.
Can you please share that information?
Yeah, can you just
yeah.
yeah, we don't give out their information kind of publicly right now, but if you just email me, tim@stammer.ai, we will get you in touch with them.
Yeah, I've been emailing with Ross actually about this particular client that I have, so I'll
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. Yeah, no problem. Okay, what else? What other questions, comments people have, successes, failures you had, customers you couldn't close for whatever reason?
May I share something? So what I see, I live in the Netherlands, Western Europe, and what I see is a lot of offering of like cheaper do-it-yourself chatbots. And what I'm trying to do is my niche that I'm trying to develop is the full service chatbot. Because you can now get one for like $50 a month and build it yourself. But what I'm really trying to sell is my prompt engineering skills. Say, hey, I'm a certified prompt engineer, which I am. If you really want a working chatbot, you need to hire me. You need me to build your chatbot. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Absolutely.
I'm combining my own skills with the Stammer platform to sell it. And I think my biggest challenge is the more technical stuff because I'm in by no means a developer or even a technical person. So that's why I'm going to need support. So it's great that you guys are starting to look into that and are offering back up on that as well because I'm a bit hesitant to go out into the market and just find somebody who can develop for me because he may run with my idea or whatever. And it's nice to have somebody from within the Stammer community who can help me out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to be careful not to rant about this, but there are so many bad dev shops out there, especially now with AI being rampant in the industry. So many people who will sell you on the idea that they can build something and they will never deliver. Even people that seem to be based in the United States. We've heard horror stories. I was talking to a guy who launched a product called Now You Know. It's kind of a social media platform for identifying like hotels, restaurants you like, stuff like that. Very cool platform. But what he originally did was he got started with a dev shop that basically develops nothing. The entire code had to be rewritten, didn't work right. So be careful basically with the developers you hire. We do recommend Upwork as a platform. That's how I 4 or 5 years ago connected with the leader of our dev shop, that then became a part of us. But yeah, you have to be very careful because there are a lot of bad dev shops out there who will not build anything that can actually work. So the people we work with, incredibly reliable. They have contracts with big name companies in place. Some of those we are actually involved with. So yeah, just let us know. We are happy to hook you guys up.
Cool, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, Tim. This is Kasoon. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I wanted to comment on what Martin just said because I am in the same boat. I am actually changing a couple of things. I am not interested in just making the agents available to anyone to just go and create one. I think you're targeting a different market at that point. That's not my goal. So I was very happy to hear that we can connect with you and find the development support to do what we envision. I don't envision this to just be, oh, you can do a, just add a chatbot to your site. That's not the goal of my agency. Yeah.
Yeah, totally get it. Yeah, it sounds like you're chasing kind of the higher ticket client with possibly integrations and stuff like that. That would be a part of it.
And that was one of the reasons why it's taking me so long to launch, because I want to make sure that when this is done, I have all the support in place. I'm doing it all myself, and I'm testing to make sure that it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Jesse, I see that your hand is up. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I actually, is it Martin? Martin?
Yeah.
Hey, how does that serve you being a certified AI prompt engineer for making the base prompts? Because one of the things I was thinking about is I need to learn a bit more on that side because we're more sales focused, landing a few, and then a little more clunky on that side. So, like, would you suggest agencies going and getting something like that?
Yeah, it was really simple. There's on Coursera, there's a Vanderbilt course, one or two courses. There's a really great professor from Vanderbilt that teaches you the basics of prompt engineering in I think I did it in a couple of days, just full time. And it's you sort of you go through the motions, and you have to do these assignments. It's all really basic. And if you play around with it, you can get them for free because you get like the first week for free. And if you rush and you do it, you can do it in the first week. And if you do the second course under a different email, you can get the second course for free as well. So it's not it really it taught me the basics of prompt engineering. And of course, it's something you have to develop yourself, but this gets you started in a really good way. So go to the Vanderbilt courses on prompt engineering, and he
Awesome.
even paid
Can you
like
sh-
$50. So
Thank you. Because when
It-
you, oh, sorry.
yeah, there you
No,
go.
I was just sorry. Can we just search Vanderbilt certified prompt
Yeah,
engineering
the first hit at the top. That
right
one.
here, Coursera?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, I'll share that link in the
And
chat.
they've created all these courses around it, but it's really it's if you're curious, I mean, this is how I got started.
Because it sounds like when you were talking about how you do your customer acquisition, sounded like it's added some confidence behind when you talk to clients.
Yeah, it almost it makes me laugh a little bit because I say I'm a certified prompt engineer, but I only took two courses. But
That's good,
the
man. It's
gap
good.
in knowledge between myself and the people I'm speaking with has gotten wider with these courses. So, and that's all you need. You need to have a little bit of um, yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
And
an
Thank you for
advancement.
Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
and Martin, any ideas, like what was your biggest learnings from that course? Because I learned prompt engineering doing it, and because of my background in software engineering, I think that's how I developed those skills. What was it for you with that course? Did it just help you kind of learn how to take thoughts and translate them into written instructions, or what was it?
Well, it gave me the confidence to start writing prompts, and not being a developer, I was a little bit apprehensive at first. I was a bit insecure. But as I got going, I was like, wait a minute, I can do this as well. And of course, and at some point you start to play with it, and then what I'm not doing, I'm using ChatGPT to check my prompts, which is kind of a funny way of doing it. But it's that's how you learn to play with it. You look at prompts, and there's never a perfect prompt, but it got me started, and it showed me enough to get me going and to find my way further.
Yeah, yeah. It's really wild actually to me, like how bad the average person and especially the average SMB is at prompting. As a weird example, I was on Twitter the other day and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the M dashes, but it's what ChatGPT and Claude both seem to keep doing when they write things. They love to put dashes in there, right? And no, most humans don't use the M dash. And someone was like, "How do I get it to stop doing M dashes in the writing?" And I was like, "Well, you just tell it to, just literally tell it no M dashes." And that's like, I don't know, it's just a different way of thinking that maybe some people are not exposed to. But yeah, I think a course like that can be very valuable. And it probably also exposes you to prompting techniques that we are not even aware of. So
Yeah,
that's
one
probably a
shot
very good
prompting,
course.
few shot prompting, all these things. Again, it's not rocket science. You just gotta get into it, get started. You know, I did a little workshop last week. There were all these people that had been using ChatGPT, but they knew nothing about custom GPT. So I built them a couple of custom GPTs. They were all just elated, like, "Oh wow, oh my god, this is saving me so much time." And it was so easy. Just yeah, you need to be curious. I think that's the biggest tip I can give you. Be curious, go out there and start reading, start learning, start trying, start practicing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at a Chamber of Commerce event for my local city 2 weeks ago, and it was for AI for SMBs, and it was, I mean, the most basic how
Yeah,
to tell it, what tonality to talk in. Can it, people are asking questions like, can it speak multiple languages? Very, very introductory. So I think we as a platform and you guys as the agencies will be doing a lot of education.
yeah. But you're right. That's what the far majority of the people are at that level at
Hmm.
best.
Absolutely.
So yeah. And for
Yeah.
soon, I heard you talking about how you're structuring your business. What I just realized with this big client I'm trying to land this week is that they need a very technical solution. But once you've found a niche for which you found a solution, you can resell that. So this is going to take me a lot of work to develop this and get this working. But once I get it working and actually share this with my clients, like, well, my goal is to develop something that I can resell, and then it becomes easier. But yeah, the first client with this or the first version of this complex structure is going to take a lot of work. But then once you have it up and running, you
That
can
Yeah,
copy paste.
that's brilliant.
absolutely.
That's brilliant. That's my goal. That's my vision. I don't see this as just, hey, put a little bot on your
Yeah,
thanks for sharing. I appreciate it.
no problem.
Yeah, and that's how you develop kind of your own IP, which we've had other customers do. I think the guy who originally we developed a custom function with him in order to access Shopify. He was able then to go and sell that to many other customers using Shopify. And you can take the same approach with all the weird niche software that people's using. If you develop, as an example, an integration with Open Dental, with dentists that are using Open Dental, you can go and resell that to everyone that's using Open Dental, and they will pay a pretty penny for that. So that is fantastic. We're coming up on the end here. We do have the 11:30 daily support call. So if any of you are having any issues, feel free to join that. Any other questions before we close out for this week? Any other? Oh, go ahead.
Quick one, Tim. Are we ever going to have maybe an agency that uses Stammer that shares their success on one of these calls? That'd be great.
It's very difficult, actually. So we do have one agency that I would love to get this guy on the office hours. He was saying he was going to attend this prior one, but I missed it because I was stuck in LA. Drew, I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, but did we have an agency attend the office hours on Tuesday and talk about how he's having success?
We did, yeah, a little bit. I also just contacted some guys that are having a lot of success with cold email. So I asked them if they could share with me their success, and then I don't know if they'll be comfortable sharing success, just in case
Right.
they're targeting same locations or industries. So we're gonna float it to some of our most successful people, and then ideally we'll have people on here.
Yeah, it's difficult because obviously they don't want to fully reveal the niche that they're using. I have a saying that no one reveals a marketing technique, the dark secrets of marketing. But yes, we will do what we can. And obviously we can always share kind of more generic information about approaches that are working. But yeah, let's see what we can do. Maybe there's a way we can incentivize them in some way to get on these calls and kind of share what's working for them. Because even though they may compete with you guys in some ways, the market is massive, and many of you are in regions where it would almost be impossible for them to compete directly with you, or not easily at least.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when I hit this out the park, you can rely on me, because I do know that I used to be fearful of that. Oh, someone's going to model what I'm doing. It's all about personal brand too. You know, people buy from
Yeah.
you, they like you. It's not about competition. Sometimes you have no competition. You're doing the same thing.
Also, with these more complex solutions, they need to trust you, need to have faith in you
Yeah.
to really get started with you.
Absolutely.
A good point.
Yeah, that is a very good point. And you're right, Christine. I mean, it is ultimately fear-based, and it's something you do have to kind of get rid of. It's just like all the people who have an amazing startup idea, but then they want you to sign an NDA in order to even hear it. Like, it doesn't matter. People are so wrapped up in what they're doing day to day that the chances of someone taking your crazy startup idea and going and having massive success with it while you have no success, very little chance. Everyone's so wrapped up with the own things they're doing that it doesn't make sense not to talk about your own approaches and the successes you're having. Absolutely agree. But yeah, okay, so let's wrap this up for this week. Next week, we will definitely have a more structured, we will plan ahead of time more and have more stuff to share. But if, like I said, if anyone has any questions, any issues that you're having, just jump on the support call right after this and we will see what we can do. Yeah, thank you so much. Have a